Hey guys, this is Unfiltered with Bryant and Maureen. I'm Maureen Grzinski, and this is
Bryant Rice.
We're here tonight with a guest that is not signed on yet, but he'll be here any minute. We are going to be hosting Paugh Shadow, otherwise known as Shadow. Thanks everyone for being here. We are going to introduce him once he gets here, but we'll be filling you in on a little bit of what we've been doing this week. What are we doing?
A little bit of everything. Music is the number one key. Who's that?
We have Anthony, my co-host on my Thursday show, and Bobby.
Nice. Hello, Anthony.
Who does his show after us. Ron, who owns ERRT Radio. Hi, Ron. And I think that's it for right now.
For now.
So what do you want to say about music?
Well, just the process of it takes. There he is.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, champ?
Did you shave everything off just for us?
Yes, he did.
No, I had that done a couple of days ago, actually. I usually shave every few months because the hair starts to grow over the ears a little bit, and I'm like, done with it. Start over.
Gotcha. I like it.
It also, it's like almost like a little bit of a timer, like, all right, it's time to get, if it's that long and I'm shaving it, I better have some stuff done.
It's like, oh, it's springtime. Oh, it's wintertime.
Put that big coat on.
Next setup of objects of, like, your list of things that need to be done. If they're not done by then, it's kind of like a awakening and saying, oh, better get your ass moving and start getting stuff done. So
Gotcha. So you kind of talked through him with me last night. So this is Bryant.
Hi, Bryant.
Hey, well, how's it going?
It's going. I still have, I think, a sinus infection or cold or something.
It's going around.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have something right now myself, and I was taking a long nap, and I had to slap myself in the face a little bit. So
I was just watching a movie, and then I didn't even realize what time it was.
I know.
That's why I saw the text, and I was like, I told you. I said, if you don't text me, I will forget, and I do. I mean, it's like
I texted you earlier, and then I was like, okay, now we have to text him to remind him. So
oh yeah. The earlier was like what time was that? That was early.
Yeah, just to remind you of the show in general and to send you the stream.
Yeah, I told you once. If you don't get me like 15 minutes before, I'll get distracted. I get distracted very easily.
Yeah.
Like that dog on Up. Squirrel.
I'm like that too. So your buddy Anthony Simonelli is in our comment section.
Okay.
So
I don't see. Hold on, let me click the comments. So
I don't think you can answer back, but I'll read you.
No, but I can read what they say
and whatever as we go through. I think. Oh, had a nice lightning storm. That's awesome. So, what do you want to start with? Where do you want to begin? Do you want to start from the very beginning when you were born?
Yeah, start from the top, work your way bottom and up.
When I was born, was a little guy, maybe as big as this whole head that you see before you. No, we don't need to go.
What do you think is the most interesting thing about you?
Nothing. I mean, I'm just a regular guy. I mean,
You're so not the regular guy.
Well, okay. I just, like, for me, I don't, things were thrust upon me. I would have liked to have done other things I haven't been able to do yet because.
Buddy, you're 6'7". There's nothing thrust upon you.
Yeah. Eiffel Towers we're talking to right now.
Right. But, I mean, I like, some people have, money in their family, and so whatever they wanted to do, they could just go and do it. That wasn't me. I was, I've been born poor, so it's like for anything to happen, you got to bust your ass. I get offended when people act like everybody has that silver spoon
right.
in their life, and oh, you didn't have to do anything. You were privileged. And I'm like, and then they get mad when somebody gets upset for being called privileged. It's like, because I wasn't, it's like, if I was, I would admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know money is one thing, and oh, well, this and that. I said, okay, so you can nitpick until you find one thing that I had over you and say I was privileged because of that. I mean, that's just nonsense. It's like we all have barriers in front of us. It's like some more than others, but to use one thing to say, well, I'm I don't know. I'm playing the little violin for you because I know what suffering is. Like I've been homeless. Like, uh, people are amazed when I say that. But I also lived in like a little tent, I guess you would call it, maybe. Covering that was made of metal, and then four poles, and then mosquito netting, and slept in, on a cot on four more poles for years in Asia when I was living out there. So, I mean, some of that was my own because, it was kind of interesting to live that way,
Yeah.
but also because I didn't have things handed to me and I had to struggle until I made it and pushed through, and then, build everything else and then get to where I am. So it's like, it's been a hell of a ride, but I'm here now, 51 years old. I didn't think I'd ever make 50. I mean, if you grew up where I grew up in the beginning of DC, where I was born in Greater Southeast, was it? Whatever Anacostia was. I can't remember that area, what the name of that is anymore, because it's been a while since I've been there. But I mean, I'm lucky to be alive. Like I said, I mean, we had drive-by shootings and shit like that, and people didn't like us because didn't fit the norm of who would live there. So anyway,
If you
I
turn
digress.
in DC, if you turn down the wrong street, like one block makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend who lived on this one block, and very amazing area. I mean, the townhomes or whatever they call those things there. Brownstones, I think they call them in New York. I'm not 100% sure it's the same thing down in DC. But on that side of the block, everyone's rich. I mean, the next block, crack alley. and I'm not exaggerating in the least. You go around the other side, it was just hell. And it's like, wow, what a difference. And that is by the Capitol building.
Right. It's still like that, by the way.
Well, a lot of things have changed, though. I used to be down where there's a place called Trax, and where they have the new, well, not new anymore, probably, but the Capitals, the Washington Capitals, the hockey team play,
Yep.
we used to call them the Bullets. That's how long ago. What they call the Wizards now. I mean, they've been called the Wizards for what, 20 years probably by now.
They didn't want to get a bad name with the Bullets.
That was the thing, the Bullets. It was like, that really told you much about DC back then. Is like even the team's name was Bullets, for God's sake. And people, when we were kids, we didn't even think about that. But yeah, and now they changed the Redskins are now the Commanders.
Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day, actually.
Like 3 days ago.
People get, and I get flack all the time. People are way too sensitive. There are things to be upset about, and there's other things that it's like, if certain groups aren't upset about it, why are you?
Right.
Like, some people just look for things to be upset about. It's like they can't. If life was happy all the time, I think their heads would explode. They can't handle it.
Yeah.
So they look for things to be like, they look to put barriers in front of themselves. I think some people are insane to do that, but I think they make themselves feel better that they have a barrier that didn't even exist. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it's my opinion, I guess. Everyone has one. Just like a-holes, they usually stink.
This is unfiltered, by the way. You can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Right.
All right, well, I try to be a little polite sometimes because I don't want any snowflakes melting on your show.
No. What was the percentage?
So
anyway,
I think that that's everywhere. I mean, we've never had anybody attack our show, and I haven't had anybody attack the other show, luckily.
first time for everything, right? So
Yeah.
no, I mean, I usually hit people's buttons. I mean, not necessarily deliberately, but just because people they get their buttons pushed, and it's like, and I'm a big guy, and people are like, well, you know, I can attack the big guy because he's the big, and he should be able to take it. I'm like, okay, but I'm not your punching bag, man. You got issues. Go see a therapist. I'm not it. Now, I'll charge $400 an hour if you want one. I'll be your therapist, but I want some cash.
Yeah. You'd make a great therapist, though, by the way.
Yeah. Where do I sign up?
Nah, I don't think so. I'll be like, deal with it, motherfucker, shit. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I like him, man.
Damn it. I'll shake the fuck it, shut. Give you like, what when somebody shakes a baby, what's that thing called? Do that to a grown human.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody like on the bus yesterday, I got a busted fucking knee, right? And these little brat kids, 15 years old, but they're still kids, right? Come on the bus for free, run into me, don't say anything like, excuse me, sorry, nothing. And then act like the fucking bus is their bus and are loud and obnoxious. And they said something, and the one who hit my knee said, do you know what that means to somebody else? It wasn't me in the conversation, but I could fucking hear it from one end of the bus to the other. I said, maybe it means shut the fuck up. How about that?
You should have clotheslined them.
And then some guys like, oh, but they're kids. Yeah, and then they grow up to be asshole adults because they've never been told as a kid to shut the fuck up. How about you have some fucking manners? And oh, you're old. And what does that have to do with it? I'm an old man and you're a young kid. That means you should show a little. And I didn't do anything first to you, so knock off the fucking shit. And you know, people don't want to hear that. And it's like, it's time for us to step back and tell people, I mean, for God's sakes, whatever you think about Donald Trump, okay? I just watched him today about something about crying and how grown men who never cry as babies cried. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I mean, seriously, the shit he says, and if you can follow him all you fucking want. I don't give a fuck. I'm not pro Trump. I'm not pro Biden. I'm not anti-Trump. I'm not anti-Biden. I'm anti-stupid, though. And if you fucking want to come out me stupid, I'm going to put you in your fucking place. And if you don't like it, great. Because I hope when I'm fucking stupid, somebody puts me in my fucking place.
Right.
And I don't mean because you think I'm stupid. Fucking prove it. Give me some facts and be like, oh, shit, I'm stupid. My bad. But, you know, use my language. Damn, man, I get tired. It's tiresome. I mean, I didn't get these gray hairs because people don't fucking piss me off. You know, this ain't
piss you off a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Every single gray hair you see, and there's 7.6 billion people on the planet. Of course, I'm gonna get pissed off by somebody. Anybody who says out of 7.6 billion people, no one pisses you off, you got some fucking shit in your head that makes you go woo because there ain't no fucking way. Nobody's that fucking happy. I don't give a fuck, even if you're stoned 24/7. There ain't no way you're that fucking happy. There's always got to be something that upsets something, you know? You always complain. What do they say? You're opinionated. I said, and that's your opinion, so you're opinionated too, motherfucker. Shit.
Yeah, right back at you.
Let's call a spade, and let's move on.
But
anyway.
And if people were watching this, they would think that you were just a big asshole. But
I am a big asshole.
Well, aren't we? Well, most of us
for those people who think it, they're right. And those, you know, the same people who think I'm a big asshole, there's other people who think I'm a fucking great guy because of the same action, you know, same thing. I don't give a fuck. You know why?
But here's the thing: you're like the biggest teddy bear.
I'm a nice guy in general. Just don't fucking poke the bear.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
What about tickling?
You're gonna get your ass whooped if you try that. Look, I'm a big teddy bear, but I'm also a fucking grizzly bear. It all depends on what you want to see. Do you want to? Which one do you want to see out of me?
Right.
You know, I mean, the same thing as, you know, if I'm approaching anybody else, I try my best to be a nice guy every day. I'm usually friendly, but people say, but you're always angry. That was on you guys. The rest of the world, 7.6 billion of you, had the chance to make me the nice guy. You motherfucker. Like, okay, I'm trying again today. I try to get on the train. Again, I got a hurt leg. It's obvious that I'm handicapped in my leg, right? I don't have to sit down, but it's nice, right? This person ran across the train to get into that seat that was where I was going, and then looked at me like I lost my mind when I was like, really? You really took a seat from a handicapped person? I mean, if you see the scar on my knee, it's not like I was wearing pants. I had a cane. I have a cane. I have Jesus Christ, I can't believe I have a cane at this age. I didn't think of that. But I had a fall a couple years ago, and it's really fucked me up. And before that, I was, never thought I would be having a cane or anything like that. Unfortunately, I do, right? But this person just stares at the rest of the world like I'm the fuckhead. And I'm like, whatever, dude, whatever. I mean, you got if more power to you, but don't look at me like you're not wrong here. I mean, just just the fact that you ran to the fucking seat, it's like, damn, for one stop. It's like you're not even. And then when they got up, whatever. It just
hasn't even hit the seat yet. Like
it's your ass just got into the seat and you're getting up. It was just the fact that I said we need more Keanu Reeves. We need more Keanu Reeves on the subway because I mean he at least from what I understand, he would have gotten up. And so
I've gotten up for people and there were men on the train and they didn't get up.
Well, that's what I found funny. Okay. Say what you will about anybody. I mean, stereotypes fit people because you did something that was that stereotype. If you don't want people to think that stereotype, you have to stop doing whatever you're doing. Now, if you're not doing it and somebody stereotypes you, then you're like, dude, fuck you. All right. But if you're doing it, then you got to go, fuck myself. Because I fucked up and I did, like, if somebody says, oh, all white men are the devil, and I do devil shit, then I'm the fucking devil and I have to eat.
You're helping a problem.
I have to eat my fucking crow for the day, man. I mean, I have to reflect and if everybody reflected about their behavior, the world would probably be a better place. But we're not going to have that.
But as Anthony said, you can't fix stupid.
Absolutely. Somebody said to me I was racist, and I was like, holy shit, this motherfucker knows nothing about me. I said, only if stupid is a race, and you're probably in first. So.
You're winning the race. People are probably thinking that this is a public service announcement right now.
Right. Jeez.
I mean, you're in first. Like, some people don't get that joke. I don't like, cut the hair off, I guess. I don't know how to explain it any other way. I mean, just people just don't make any sense. I just don't like dumb people, and I don't mean dumb like you just don't know something that you've never been taught. That I don't care about. I'm talking about when I tell you 1 + 1 is 2, and you still say fire truck. Now I have no fucking sympathy for.
Well, that's core math, though.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started. Don't get me started about teaching. When I first started teaching, I used to teach. Okay, I used to teach 6th grade through college. I've taught in different times of my life, not at the same time. So I don't want anybody getting their panties in a bunch about. I said I taught 6th through college all at the same time. I didn't.
Well, they act similar though.
Some true, but the problem is some of it is the kids. Okay, you have to put it on the kids a little bit, but when you meet the parents, then you understand why some of the kids act the way they do, and then I start having a little more sympathy for the children. But at the same time, my responsibility as an adult who's educated is to say, stop that shit. Not say in those words, but in your approach of how you deal with their thing. But you also have to understand they're being influenced by those adults around them, and they don't know better that those adults are fuckheads. And later in life, they might understand that, But while they're learning that, if they're not getting that in their head, that they're starting to, incorporate what they see from those people. So, yeah, you do blame the children for acting, but I hate when people say there's no bad children. I'm like, oh my God.
That's not true.
There's always somebody bad. I mean, there's good and evil. I mean, there is that, right? But it's what you intake in yourself. Which one do you want to show to the rest of the world? Like I said, I try to show the good part, but I fuck up every day too. I mean, I'm sure I don't make the best decisions every time. But but when I see that I'm doing something wrong, I kind of like step back away from the rest of the populace and say, okay, let's reset, and then go back out into the populace and start being the good guy again. I mean, you can make mistakes, but you gotta own it. And I'm a grown man. I know when I make mistakes.
And speaking of educated, marine biology and chemistry.
Oh,
yeah, that's my bachelor's.
My master's is in modeling.
No, modeling. You know what? I tell people, they go, "What's your PhD in?" I'm like, it doesn't really fucking matter. Underwater basket weaving, it's still a fucking PhD. I don't care what you got your fucking PhD in. You had to work for it. I don't care what it is. I have a PhD. Oh, what's it in? And I said education. Oh, well, just an education. Oh, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter what I say.
Awesome, though. I mean, that truly shows that you can teach something. Because a lot of people can get
I don't know. PhD to me, I have learned, also means please help the dummy. I have seen people with PhDs that do not deserve them because and it's the truth. They slept with.
They just want to be called the doctor.
Well, that too, and they slept with their professors. And if I told you some of the stories I told you about what's happened in the DOE, I should write a fucking book. But no one's going to believe these stories because they're so absurd.
My first major was education.
Okay. And as a English literature. To be a teacher or for something else? Okay. Well, I have my master's are in general ed and special ed. And what I learned, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do general ed because special ed is very hard. And I don't want to fuck up those kids, right? Then I found out general ed has 90% of the kids that should be in special ed, at least. But the biggest, well, I mean, it's not because they're dumb. It's because they're not getting the education. First off, every kid should go to preschool to learn how to behave in a classroom setting.
Yes, and have like
out trying to teach them without teaching them how to behave in the setting. They don't get taught that at home. They don't know how to. Most kids don't know how to behave because at home it's a fucking.
It's a free for all.
It's a jungle gym.
It's a fuck hell, right? I mean, it's like it's all bets are off. There's no rules because, I mean, unfortunately, two parents, somebody should stay home. I don't give a fuck if it's the mom works and the dad stays home, or the dad works and the mom stays home.
Or even if there's a grandparent.
Or have a grandparent stay if that. But the thing is, I don't want grandparents raising my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm the adult. I should be raising my kids. One of the family members needs to raise the kids, the mother or father. I don't care which one. The other one can go work. Look, if my wife wanted to make 100,000, 200,000 more than me, I'm all for it. And she can make the fucking rules if she made that kind of money, But and then somebody needs to be in charge of the household. I don't give a damn if it's the mom or dad. Somebody who is financially responsible for the actions that happen. So if I fuck up and I don't make any money, why am I putting that responsibility on the person who works? So if she makes the money and makes the rules and then she fucked up, well, she's paying for what she fucked up. So I'm good with that. But I don't like when I'm not doing the fuck up and then you want to make the rules and fuck up and then I got to pay for it. Nah, come on. That don't work. That don't work. And then I think that's why a lot of families fail. I think we just get to the point where I want to be in charge, but I don't want to take responsibility for the stupid actions that I make. I want the other person to, and that other person starts to resent you. And then that's where the family falls apart. And that's why we have as many divorces we have. One reason, I think. plus there's a bunch of assholes out there, but who
Well,
get married and then
I
they
mean,
don't
what, a million?
they don't deserve to be married. I don't think marriage should be a right just because you exist. I think you should show some form of humanity, that you would treat the person that you're co-living with some kind of dignity.
And respect, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just if I want that for me, then I got to do the same to the person I'm co-living with. And it goes with your kids too. They didn't ask to be born there. You brought them into this world. Then you should have that dignity and self-respect towards them first, and then they'll get it. I mean, my kids adore me, and I'm thinking it's because I'm a good dad. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't disrespect them. I don't show them any. I don't know, but we were just talking about a lack of dignity. I mean, my kids make their own decisions most of the time, but I tell them, if you're making this decision, if it's wrong, you're going to own up to it. And they do. My kids aren't these kids that are out there causing hell and havoc to the rest of the world and then going, "Oh, I'm a kid, I just get away with it." No, because I mean, I'm from old school where you the rest of the community would know that you did something wrong, and then by the time I got home, everybody knew about it, and it was dealt with.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's funny that you say that, because my parents would list all the reasons why I was an asshole, and then I would go, "I didn't ask to be born. This was your fuck up.
Right.
You did this."
Yeah.
And it wasn't even bad stuff. Like, they would think that I was the worst kid in the world, and I was actually one of the best kids. They just thought that it was, I had to be perfect. Yeah.
I mean, my dad was a complete monster, so he never should have had children. But I'm kind of glad he did, because then I wouldn't have existed.
Right.
That's right.
But then you know what to do with your kids, because you just do the opposite, and then you're changing the world.
If I told you some of the stories about what my dad did, and you'd understand why I do what I do with my kids are spoiled, but at the same time, they're disciplined. So they're not out of control, and they don't, like I said, people don't look at them and go, "Jesus Christ, whose father is that, or whose mother is that?" They
We'll
see.
have to sit down someday and discuss that, because I think we might have some similar situations.
I think most of us have similar situations, unless our parents weren't fucktards. I mean, my mom is a great lady. She did what she could do with what she had. Her resources to raise us, she did the best she could. My dad, on the other hand, not so much. I mean, he had the opportunity to do better, and he chose violence, for lack of a better word. He just didn't know how to be a father. It's like, and then people say, "Well, his dad was an asshole." I said, and
you learn from that.
He didn't have to be what his father was, and
right.
He just same decision. What do they say? If you don't learn from history, you tend to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes the same with family history. Family history is the same.
Yeah, it's almost like DNA repeats DNA, like that.
But I don't think DNA has anything to do with it. Your environment does mold you, but it's, again, you have to reflect in yourself and say, okay, I had a hard life, but do I have to be an asshole because of it? No, you don't have to be. Those are choices.
That's choices,
yeah. Tell us about Soul Entertainment.
Oh my God, I haven't done that in 30 years. Soul Entertainment was one of the first TV shows I created to talk about other people's talents. Because, like I said, I don't feel I have much of a talent. Maybe I do. Maybe my talent. Maybe my talent is to find other people's talents, or to recognize other people's talents. Well, I used to do things like, and then I used to do things that were interesting, like skydive, because I thought that would be interesting, and made a show about skydiving. And then I did a show about belly dancing. Excuse me. Where I brought a lady who was a belly dancer.
Oh.
I brought a lady on who was a belly dancer, and she showed what belly dancing was. So I brought different cultures and different things from around the world. Anything that interests me that I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Why don't I do a show about what that is and find somebody who does that, or do it myself? And one of the things. What's that?
Did she teach you how to belly dance?
Not well, but yeah. I mean, she did.
Example.
But it's not something I wanted to. I like watching it. I think it's a very interesting cultural thing that
It is.
and you know, I've been to shows of belly dancers in the past. I've also seen traditional Chinese tea ceremonies. You know, I I've done a lot of different things because all these things interest me. When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to. I wasn't allowed. I mean, we had 3 channels on TV, and then maybe you went out and played football in the street, and that's it. And so when anything else came up that I got to see that I was interested in, I went and did it. I mean, that's one thing my family didn't stop me from doing is embracing other people's cultures and stuff and just seeing what it is and learning about it and participating if allowed, you know. Um as much as I possibly could because like I said, I'm not good at belly dancing, but I like watching it.
So, do you think that's why you do so many different? I mean, you've done foreign movies, you've done independent films, you've written blogs, you've written stories, you have traveled all over the world, you've lived all over the world, you've done commercials, you've done voiceovers for video games, which is super interesting. Did you develop any video games or just do the voiceovers?
I just did the voiceovers for Grand Theft Auto 4,
Which is so dope.
but but then I never got another chance, even though Rockstar Video Games, I don't know, begged me. Maybe that's not the asked me if I would love to do more video games, and I said absolutely, and then never heard from him again. I'm like,
Really?
that's the most fucked up thing. There's so many people. Like I've had people ask me, "Hey man, do you want to be like Daddy Giant?" I think was something. Some guy saw me carrying my son on my chest, newborn, my first son. And oh my God, I was writing a book called Daddy Giant, and you'd just be perfect. Da da da. I said, yeah, I'll do it. Never heard from the guy again. Somebody wanted me to be a sultan for a thing they were doing. You'd be perfect. Blah blah blah. Never heard from him again. So there's a lot of things I could have done that never got done, and that's one thing I can't stand. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
So that's one thing. My buddy Dre from back in DC said one thing he admired about me was everybody else in our crew or group or whatever. There was a lot of us, there were about 30 of us, I guess, talked shit about how they were going to do things like either be musicians or do this or do that, whatever. And then none of them did anything. They were all sitting at Denny's talking about it, but I went and did it. The fact that I've been in movies and made movies, some of my friends are like, they couldn't believe it. Because they wouldn't do it themselves. How'd you do it? Just went and did it.
They don't have the drive.
No, the drive.
Oh yeah, everyone wants to be famous, but nobody wants to put in the work. Now I put in a lot of work, and I'm not famous. I never said I was famous. I mean, I've had people recognize me. That doesn't make me famous. That just makes
you have 48 movies you acted in.
Yeah, 48, just 48.
That just makes me recognized. That doesn't make me famous. Tom Cruise is famous, right? I'm just recognized. There's a big difference. And I know it. I'm humble about it. I'm not pretending. I'm not like there's people when I go on sets, right? And they're bragging about the shit that they're in. And I said, but I've never seen you.
Yeah.
And so that, I mean, and people, just because you didn't see me doesn't mean I'm not famous.
They're famous themselves.
I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, my business is to watch everything. I watch shows all the time. If I haven't seen it, I mean, I can't see every show, right? But if I haven't seen you and you said you're famous, and I watch a lot of shows, maybe you're not as famous as you think you are, and that's a little bit of a problem. It's a big problem actually. There's a lot of what do you call narcissists out there.
Yeah,
they're bigger than they are, and they think the world is their oyster, and they just don't realize that they're not as great as they think they are. And I never think I'm great. I mean, when somebody tells me I did a good job, I'm like, thank you. It's like, I didn't think I did. I mean, I did a film recently called Terra Incognita. Every actor in that thing was way better than me. Absolutely. They killed it. And I felt so out of place. I never felt that out of place. I mean, I never thought I was if I'm in your movie and I think I'm the top guy, I don't want to be in your movie because you got shit going on in it. You know,
Right.
For me, I mean, I don't want to be the top guy because I don't think I'm that great. Um, I'm not awful, like I'm not a zero either, but I just don't want to be the top guy because I don't think then your production is 100%, and I want to see better. I'd rather be the low end guy in the film and know that it's a awesome piece of work. Now this Terra Incognita movie, got to look it up. The pictures are amazing. I mean, I grew out my beard, I grew out my hair. Um, it looks really wild, and then it was very authentic in what we filmed. I mean, we were in water. It wasn't like we are on a beach. We did everything like natural. It was more natural, and it was hell to do, but at the same time, it was kind of it was really fun. And the like I said, the actors that were in it they just brought it, man. And I was like, and I was like looking around, going, "Oh fuck!" It's like, I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say here, but it was just, I just felt way out of place, and I was just happy that the director chose me to be part of that project.
I was on set with a bunch of people and they were talking about this. And I said, I don't think that in the scope of what I do typically for a living, when it's paranormal,
Mhm.
that the people that are around and acting like they're celebrities are celebrities because they're on, channels like Destination America or Travel Channel or whatever. They think they're celebrities because they think they're important.
Mm.
But if I asked my parents, do you know who they are? They would have no freaking clue.
Mhm.
But if I asked them, this is Richard Gere, my mother would swoon.
Mm.
If I said, here is, you know, what's her name, Johansson or whatever, my father would be like drooling. So
What-
they would know who those people are. So they're celebrities
Mhm.
because everyone would know who they are, but not the people who are on the other channel. So those are celebrities and the other people are not. They're just
Well, I mean,
recognized by the people in those genres.
right. Well, let's talk about like let's say plastic surgeons.
Mhm.
You can say you're a plastic surgeon just because you fuck up somebody's face. That doesn't make you a good plastic surgeon. It just means you fuck up somebody's face and you have a license to do it. And then there's other people that when they do it, you're like, holy shit, you had plastic surgery? I would never have guessed. So, those are the good plastic surgeons, and then those other ones are just plastic surgeons. So, I used to think some actors were really good, and now I think they phone in their work. Things do change too. So I'm not saying that the people who think they're famous but they're not can't ever become famous.
No,
They might, but they haven't gotten there yet, and they need to take a little bit of humility and realize, okay, so what? I mean, you ever see a movie where the person did one movie and they blew them up and they did all these interviews and they were gassing their ass up, and then you haven't heard from them since. It's like, so what's the deal? I mean, it's like, or a song, one song, person did one song and everybody's listening to it. Okay, it's one fucking song. Put 12 albums together, man. I'm more impressed. I mean, the fact that you did one song is great because it's hard to do any work. Okay. If you make a movie, movies don't get made a lot, and like 90% of them are on the shelf. They never got finished. So the fact that it got done, I have to give a little bit of respect for that. But then again, when you watch the actual film, you also have to say, but it sucked, you know? And I'm not saying you can't say something didn't suck. You're more than welcome to say that, right? You can say my shit sucks. I don't care. I mean, I do have a little bit of feeling for it, but if you've done nothing but sit on your fucking couch for 30 years and you're talking shit about me who put something together,
what did you do?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's like, unless you put something together, you don't know what it takes to do it. And you can't, when you've done it and you know what it takes to do it, and then you say it sucked, then you have more validity, right?
Yeah.
Then you got if Steven Spielberg told me my film sucked, I would take it more to heart than some guy who's a troll who lives in his mother's basement saying the same thing. Because a lot of times the guy saying the shit that is negative has no constructive criticism, just negative and just being an asshole and thinking he's clever and hoping somebody saw a few words about, oh, he's fat. Oh, like, first off, what are you, 2?
Yeah, right. Like, come on.
Is your criticism about, like my movie or the COVID Killer? The worst thing people said about me was I was fat. Wow. So my acting was on point then because you didn't say shit about my acting. Acting was fucking phenomenal. If the worst thing you were looking for something negative to say about me, and it was my weight. Okay. You know, it's like I'm supposed to be hurt by that, especially when it's a fat person calling me fat. It's like, are you fucking serious, dude? But I'm looking in a fucking mirror for a couple seconds, which you're fucking ripped up tighty whities. Talking about
you got holes on them like a rat been chewing on them. Jeez.
I'm a big dude. I'm 6'6", 330 pounds. I'm a big motherfucker, right? My youngest son described me as a mountain of a man. That's basically
yeah. Dude.
But yeah, I don't know. Just
that's what I would say. Listen,
people fat shame. You could do anything else. You get fucking criticized for shaming people for this and that. You can be a transgender. You can be sleeping with llamas. There's almost anything, but being fat. Oh no, you can't be fat. Oh shit, Jesus Christ, there's something wrong with you. You like to put food in your mouth. God damn it, and the food stays inside your body and pumps you up. Oh shit. I mean, Jesus Christ. Most people
you
have
can
an
lose
addiction.
Weight. You can lose weight. What can they get rid of their weird?
And maybe I can't lose. I mean, I have lost weight. I before my knee injury, I was 270 pounds. I gained weight because I like soda, and I'm fucking addicted to that sugar, and I can't help it. It's like fucking heroin to me.
I love soda.
It is. Well, this is like crack cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know why, because I don't even like it. Like I don't like it.
I don't know why, but I don't even like it.
But I fucking drink it anyway. One reason is because water, if in a lot of places, tastes like dishwasher fluid to me. Yeah. It tastes like they just got, and it's gross. It doesn't taste right. Now, you give me a good thing of water, I'd rather have a good thing of water or tea over anything else. But if the water sucks, and the next best thing is a fucking soda, and I'm trying to
or beer.
He said,
I don't drink beer at all. I can't stand the fucking taste.
I love it.
You don't like at all? Like no liquor, no nothing?
I mean, I used to drink when I was in my 20s in a hard liquor like long mixed drink, vodka sunrise. I'd fuck you up over a vodka sunrise or what do you call it? Long Island iced tea. Oh,
hey, there it is.
I could drink you under the fucking table. Okay.
You could drink me under the table. Yes. I'm like 5'2".
Yeah, and I'm only 6 foot. So,
but I don't like the taste of alcohol at all. But if I start drinking, especially a mixed drink where I don't taste it, then I'll drink the shit out of it. Yeah. I mean, but if I taste it, I'm like, fuck this shit, man. Yeah. But I remember me and my friends were going to a club one time, and I had the orange juice and the vodka, and I mixed the drinks, and I gave everybody their drink, and they're drinking it like, damn, Shouty, real chintzy on the alcohol. I said, what do you mean? The bottle's done. They're like, what? And when we got to the club, the two in the back were passed out because the drink was so strong, it just knocked them out. And me and my buddy were drunk, and I was like, man, I don't know. We're not getting home. I'm not advocating drinking and driving. We ain't going home in the same vehicle because I'm plastered right now. And he's like, man, but we couldn't taste the alcohol. I said, that's how a drink should be. Yeah. You don't drink the alcohol and you get fucked up. That's a great drink.
Yeah. So we're hiring you as a bartender for us.
I don't mind being a bartender. That's pretty good. I had a friend. Well, it wasn't a friend. I just knew the guy. We used to go to this club named Trax in DC. If anybody ever went there, it was like an alternative club. It was more like a safe club for gays LGBTQ
I know
would
the
go
name.
there.
I know there.
A lot of kids from Gallaudet University who are, deaf would go to that club. It was a very safe club that except when the Marine would come and want to start fights in the pits. I'm like, oh my God, you do not know what a mosh pit's for. But as a general, it was a very safe club. You could be who you wanted to be. No one judged you. It was cool and it had great music. And this guy, Jay, was a phenomenal bartender. He passed away a while back, but I don't know exactly how many years now. But boy, he would remember your drink especially if you took good care of him and tipped him. Boy, he would take good care of you and get you and he remembered your drink, and he was just one of the nicest guys I ever knew. Too bad he passed away. I'd still like to say hi to him because I'm sure he'd still remember me. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But when he remembered me when I walked in the club, because before I even got to the bar from the security check-in, my drink would be sitting waiting for me. I mean, that's how, and every time I come to the bar, boom, right, he'd already have it ready for me. So yeah, that guy was awesome. When I drank, for let's see, 18 to 25. I started drinking in the clubs because I used to DJ in DC industrial music with a guy named Mohawk Adam at Trax, and Mohawk Adam was like the guy for industrial music. If it was a club in DC, it had anything to do with industrial music and it was supposed to be a good club, he DJ'd at it. So he had me DJ and people started bringing me drinks. That's how it got started. I didn't drink before that. And I just started, collecting drinks and drinking them. They thought I was going to play a song for them just because they brought me a drink. I'm going to play the song anyway, but fuck it. They gave me a drink, right? And then I'd have 2 drinks in my hand. And then if people didn't see me with 2 drinks, they thought something was wrong. They'd be like, dude, you okay? Yeah, why? I mean, I wasn't a goddamn lush. I mean, I did drink a lot, but I wasn't out of control. I think maybe had one hangover my whole life. So, I mean, I did know when to say stop. Yeah, I knew when to say stop. The only time I didn't know when to say stop was when I was in Thailand. And they gave me this blue drink. Oh, my God.
The blue drinks are the mess waiting to happen.
I don't know what it was. It wasn't like a blue Hawaiian, which is amazing. I can tell you drinks I really liked when they were mixed well. Blue Hawaiians, vodka sunrises. People are like tequila sunrise. I'm like, no, motherfucker, vodka. What the damn? Hey, you could change it up. Vodka sunrises were really good. When people would start doing them instead of tequila, they stopped using the tequila for those people. I don't know about everybody else, but yeah. So I'm in this place in this awesome techno club in Thailand, and the drink was amazing. Whatever this blue thing was, I woke up in a tub with ice and water, and first thing when I woke up was, oh shit, somebody's stealing my kidney. But what it was, I got so messed up that these 3 people helped me cool myself down. I was like burning up and had a fever and all this. It was a bad hangover, let me tell you. And then for the next couple of days, they took good care of me, and then I was back to that. I never got that drunk again. But man, I was like, that's the first time I let alcohol overdo me. To the point where, well, no, I can't say that. There was. I do remember another time I was at the club Trax, and I got so messed up. I had like 15 Long Island iced teas. Me and this guy were having this bet because he said he could outdrink me. My dumbass took him on it, and I knew better, but for some reason I just let my ego, especially it was just this particular guy. If it was anybody else, I probably never would have even taken the bet. Anyway, you ever see a TV with the fuzzy thing at the bottom of the TV? The big line, it's fuzzy. This is before now. You don't get this now. You get it back in the 70s and 80s with those rabbit ear televisions. Mm-hmm. And then it would flip. That happened to me with the real world. Okay. There's this fuzzy thing, and then it started flipping, and this girl started talking to me, and I'm like holding my head going, oh, shut up, please shut up, because I never felt like I was going to throw up before. That time I felt like I was going to throw up. And the following week, she comes and starts talking to me in Spanish. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, she goes, oh, you speak English? I go, yeah, why? She goes, last week you didn't speak English. I was like, holy shit. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, you were speaking French and Spanish to me the whole time. I was like, I said, now that's drunk. That's fucking drunk. I said,
Yeah,
I don't
No,
even.
wait. Do you speak those languages?
Un
Like a
poquito,
little bit?
very little, but that night she said I was fluent, and I was like, how the fuck did I pull that off? Drunk, what do you call it? When you can drunk tongues, you know, speaking in tongues.
That's like stupid drunk.
Oh my god!
Intelligent drunk, maybe.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really blew me away, and you know, and then she was saying shit, and I was like, well, yeah, but I don't remember any of that. So
That's like when your mind goes back to like 9th grade Spanish and it starts to open up again and it just like pours out of your mouth.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do speak other languages, but I don't think I'm fluent in any of them. So I just, you know, I don't like. I hate when people say I speak 8 languages. Yeah, but eight of them are related to each other.
Conversational or
I don't
like
know. I mean, I don't even really.
Conversation with them.
I don't even really care if it's conversational or whatever. When you say you speak 8 languages and all 8 of them are related to each other, I'm not that impressed as if you spoke 8 languages that have nothing to do with each other and you have to really like know so much of. And a lot of languages is just memorization. I mean, if you can remember what a word means, well, maybe not. I don't know. Some lady taught me how there's a difference between being able to speak a language and translating a language. And
the verbs all have to be conjugated, so that's tough. And you have to put either adjectives go before or after, and then you have to conjugate them, and they have to be in the past, present, or future tense.
I mean, that's do you, if you don't know every single word in that language, then you're not fluent. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
If you know 90% of the words, you're not fluent to me. I don't think I'm fluent in English. There's words that are in my head going, I wish I remember what that word was. I can't remember it. I don't think I'm fluent in it. I mean, yeah, I speak English, but I don't think, you know, I would never say I was absolutely fluent in it. I mean, I don't know.
No, I think you're fluent. I just think that there are words that are misunderstood or
Correct.
not
Those
used.
words I don't know. If you don't know every single word that's in the English language, then you're not fluent. You can't be.
Really? You
If
think
you
that?
don't- That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts.
Where he's coming from, because he was just talking about that by like other languages as well. You know, so if you don't know it all in English, then you're really not fluent with that.
There are lots of words I don't know. I mean, like there are huge words that you don't use regularly. So,
Right. Like you're not like.
so none of us are fluent, really.
That's how I look at it. Unless you know it verbatim in every word, I don't think any of us are truly fluent in anything. Now, like there's times like I'm talking and I'll mix up Indonesian with English, with Thai, with Tagalog, with Spanish, with French, with Russian, with
And
Chinese.
do people look at you like crazy?
Yeah, because they're like, what did you? I said, oh, I'm sorry. That word is either easier for me or cooler for me. And that's why I use that word when I'm saying whatever I'm saying. So I really blow people away when I do that. Plus, being a big guy, people are like, oh, big guys are stupid. I mean, the stereotype, people, I love when people talk about stereotypes. They don't like it when it's about them, but when it's about other people, they're all about being on that bandwagon, right? So when they don't think, like, I don't get a lot of big acting roles, I think, because of my height and my size, because they automatically think I'm too dumb to do it. Yeah, I do that too, lady. I don't give a fuck either sometimes. I told you I get ADHD. I get distracted. Squirrel, you know. You guys.
But I think you saw that, but you didn't see the comment before that. She was like, I don't give a fuck. And you're like, me too.
Yeah, I saw that, but she said she made up her own words, and that's what I was and then I said I don't give a fuck too.
Yeah.
She said you may mean grammatically correct. That too.
Yeah.
There's like first off, people annoy the shit out of me if you haven't figured that out by now.
Yes.
When I hear people repeat like, "Oh, that's cap," shut the fuck up. What did
You said cap?
Grade? Huh?
Did
What's
you say
that?
cap?
Cap. I hate that.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't like. Oh, that's all. Mary had a little lamb. Shut the fuck up. Like, are you in 7th grade that you have to be so accepted that every time something is come a new, it's not even a new word. Cap is not a new word. Using it the way they're using it is
So sus.
Yeah.
oh so sus. Oh shut.
My two big pet peeves are when people are writing and they write the wrong two there, or when they say I could have OF, not have. I could have.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I mean, the one that gets me is if you do two and you write TWO and you mean two TOO, and then I'll say, and I'll say it. I mean, I'll correct you because if I'm using incorrect grammar, I hope you would correct me if it really affects what we're talking about. Now, if you say, I mean, that's a simple one, TWO and TOO, but I'll correct somebody on something else, like your and your, and then they go, "Oh, grammar Nazi."
Yeah.
No, that's not a grammar Nazi. If you understood what I meant, and it looks like a typo, and you're trying to fix it, then you're a grammar Nazi. When it looks like you're a fucking moron because you don't know the difference between you are and your, and use it continuously wrong all the time, and I correct you and you call me a grammar Nazi, now we have issue because you're a fucking retard. And I don't care if somebody doesn't like the R word.
This happens a lot in my area. I'm like, get a helper verb. I seen. Where did you grow up? I had seen, or I've seen, or I seen.
I'll give you an example of something I can't stand. Liketed. Oh. What the fuck is liketed?
It's like Vicodin.
I like Vicodin.
You liked it. You didn't like it.
Too many speed bumps in that word.
Extra fucking what do you call it? Syllables? Holy shit.
Syllables.
Lots of people do that.
My lingeries. I want to get my lingeries. Oh my god.
Are you gonna pour some of that champagne?
Champagne.
Just sound the shit out. How hard is it?
Thank you. The texted it. It's texted it. I text it. You don't have to put ED on it. It's TAXT. You don't say texted it. There's words you don't always put ED behind. I mean, come on.
Marco said he likes that you curse a lot. He also does that.
Yeah, I'm like a sailor. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, before I was about 16, 17, I think, I didn't curse at all. I was a very mama's boy, good guy, quiet dude. One year I didn't even talk for a whole year. But then some guy did something to me in my class, and I said, and the teacher's like, Shadow, because never expected me to do anything, but giving the finger, that was like, oh my god. Oh, so after that,
Catholic school?
No, it's just public school, but they didn't expect, because I didn't do anything as a kid. I mean, imagine I'm not 6'6", I'm not 300 pounds. I was like 5'6", 125 pounds. I was a little guy. I wasn't, I looked like, I mean, I had, oh my God, like bowl cut hair, very soft and straight hair. Now my hair gets curly. Boy, my hair can get curly. And so I just didn't look, I mean, I wore the nice little shirts. I didn't wear these, I didn't listen to Megadeth and Metallica at the time. I listened to a lot of 80s underground music, but that I wasn't even supposed to be doing that, and that surprised people that I did that. Mostly a little bit of pop, but then, like I said, when I discovered like Nine Inch Nails and Skinny Puppy and uh, what do you call it, Sisters of Mercy and The Cure and stuff like
Love
that,
it.
I was like, whoa, what is this? No one I went to school with listened to that. So I wasn't allowed to listen to that, or I'd be called gay. And it's like, well, boy, you can't be called gay, especially if you're not. That was like the death sentence in my community
And yeah,
because we didn't have that many, or at least we didn't have outed gay people in my community. And first off, I wasn't gay. It's like, who am I going to? I'm going to start being gay just because you told me I was gay?
Yeah, right.
Is that, nothing against, gay people. If that's what you are, that's what you are.
Right.
But to be something
if you're
because
not.
somebody else told you were, and that's, well, I guess I'm gay then. That's also wrong. It's like, but so yeah, I had to hide the music I listened to, and like I said, when I found tracks, man, they played the music. I was like, yo, I'm in heaven, man. Nine Inch Nails, KMFDM, Ministry,
I
just
love Ministry.
oh my goodness. And then I started like learning like Ministry. There's many different levels of Ministry. There's
Mhm.
the like Depeche Mode kind of style Ministry,
And then there's like,
the thrashing metal of, well, it's not really this, but kill your mother and your father, beat them
yeah,
with a but Al Jurgensen, he looked really, really cool, and everybody calls him Uncle Al, and then he went over the top, and now he looks ridiculous. And somebody's like, well, who are you to judge? Nobody. But I'm going to
to you,
judge.
that looks ridiculous.
I mean, there's you'd be surprised what I think is awesome looking. I won't do it to myself, but I love watching other people do it to themselves, But there's girls who I thought were like easily 1 out of 10, they're a 35. And then they did shit to themselves, and I'm like, and then there's other girls who did this shit to themselves, and it's like, well, you're still fucking hot, right? It's like, damn, how did you put like a whole bunch of like pole in your fucking nose and you still look amazing? I don't know.
Because they're just hot as it is, so it doesn't matter what they do to themselves.
But yeah, but they still do it right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
The other ones try too hard. It's
another person could do the
Way
exact
too
same
hard.
thing and then fuck it up. So and yeah, and then there's trying too hard. Like you're just, it's like, I don't know. I saw people like in my high school, right? And they used to call people, oh, you fucking faggot, you this, you that. And then I went to this club I told you about tracks, and they're kissing the same sex. And I'm like, you're gay? And you were calling other people faggot? Wow, that's pretty interesting.
That's powerful.
That is deep, man. It's like you were just ashamed of yourself. I mean, look, man. I mean, I understand
back
people.
then, that was the worst thing you could call someone because it wasn't at the point where everyone was outed yet. So they used that word, but then they were like trying either experimenting or they were gay, but they were in a safe place.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, it was amazing to watch the same people with their
Terminology.
toxic condemnation of people for being different than heterosexual, and then seeing them like full out. It was like, holy shit! I just shocker. You weren't ready for that. It was like I wasn't ready for somebody to be such a hypocrite and be so like put me in that box when they're actually putting themselves in that box. You know what I mean? In the long run, it's like they hated themselves. It felt like, it came off later to me. It's like, man, they must have really hated themselves if they were judging me for something that I'm not, and they actually were that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's sad that it comes down to that, though. It still happens. I mean,
It's still going on.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the shit that people say, it's amazing. Like this whole thing with Asian hate and all the other things that are going on in our society right now. If you are, first off, I don't understand how anybody can hate something for a color. Oh, black people this, black people. You don't like black? Wait, you don't use a black pen? The fuck is wrong?
But you watch them on TV and think
Or
they're
wear a black
hilarious.
shirt.
You don't wear a black shirt. I mean, really? I mean, a show's on, it's got a black person, you're not going to watch it? I mean, really? What kind of? I don't understand that mentality. I can't wrap my head around that shit.
I've never
Because
understood.
I was always open to different things. Like when people didn't like Queen, I mean, because they said, oh, people didn't like Queen because Freddie Mercury was gay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that when I was growing up. I don't remember people flipping out until after he got AIDS. Once AIDS hit, then things about gays really, like Rock Hudson and all that, kind of blew up. But before AIDS came out, I don't remember people hating people for being gay. Maybe I
They
was
just
just
thought he was, I think they just thought he was eccentric.
well, no, they had a little bit of an issue. Like, okay, so they came out. I forget which song it was where they dressed in drag, and they blamed Freddie Mercury for that. But Freddie isn't even the one who came up with the idea. It was one of the other band members who came up with the
Yeah.
idea. But like I said, until maybe I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just wasn't as apparent to me that people were anti-gay until after AIDS came out, and then it became like something really crazy. Because there's a lot of people who are gay. I mean, yeah, okay. When George Michael came out and he had an earring in his ear, oh, he's gay. If you had an earring, an earring in one ear, you're cool, in the other ear, you're gay. And then it was like, well, what if I forget which ear it's supposed to be? And then
Right.
And
I
then, oh
always
my
thought
God,
about
it's
that.
me. They're gonna pick on me.
I'm like,
But it's weird because back then, if he had an earring, then you would get an earring, but you didn't realize that it was what ear until people started making fun of you for it.
I never got an earring, so it doesn't matter to me. I
you
never
don't
got,
have your ears pierced?
huh?
You don't have your ears pierced?
No, I got nothing. I got nothing pierced. I got nothing tattooed. I got.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'm boring. I am a boring dude. I never colored my hair. I never had a mohawk.
I did all of it for you.
Yep. I mean, other people, yeah, people get tattoos all the time. I'm like, yo, those tattoos are cool. Yeah, why don't you have one? You don't like tattoos? No, I just told you I love them. I just don't do it.
It wasn't for you.
Like in college, I was about to get a tattoo of a peace sign on my ankle because the hair on my ankle would have looked like the branches coming off the peace sign as a tree. There was a tree going to be on there, and it would have looked like it would look more like 3D. It would have looked cool, right? But then all these people at my college got tattoos who I didn't respect as people in the first place because they were like basically they just did whatever was cool. They just never thought for themselves. And I'm like, well, I wanted to be different. How different can you be but not have a tattoo when everybody else has one?
Yeah.
So I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to get a tattoo. And I never did. I make jokes that I have a tattoo of a hairy chest. And I go, doesn't it look real? My brother hates that joke, but I think it's a funny joke.
Well, V says you have a blank canvas. So that's different because everybody else has tattoos. So now you're different.
I mean, I'm not trying to be different. Like, I'm not going, oh, fuck you. I'm the different one because, I don't brag about it like that kind of shit. But yeah, once I saw that, I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm not going to do it. I mean, like I said, I still love them. I think when people have good, now let me rephrase. Some people look like shit with their tattoos because they just got tattoos everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Then there's others who have tattoos that look really cool. You can look really, really cool with tattoos and you can look really dirty. Like you have no fucking sense. So, I mean,
I got to say, Rob Lasardo's tattoos are bomb. He has the best tattoos.
His name sounds familiar. Why?
We just talked about him.
We did?
Yeah, last night.
I'm sorry, forgot.
Robert Lasardo. He was on
Remind me.
Narcos and
Sons of
like
Anarchy.
he's got Sons of Anarchy. He's got tattoos from like up here all the way down.
He's like Travis Barker.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I see, like I said, there's some people who have tattoos all over their face and it looks really cool. And other people who have tattoos on their face and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
You told me to give him the website.
I'll give you a person I can't understand. Post Malone. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. Posty Post.
Or 6ix9ine or whatever the fuck his name is.
6ix9ine, yeah.
Sachi, Kushi, Gucci Gashi, whatever.
Whoa, you chopped that one up. Butchered it.
Look, like, listen, I've never heard his music. I don't know if it's good or not. I've never heard it. I saw his face and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
He's doing too much.
Yeah, there you go.
I respect Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne is a lot of ugly because those tattoos fuck him up. I mean, maybe he's ugly without the tattoos. I don't know. But with the tattoos, I'm like, damn, Lil Wayne, what the fuck did you do
Maybe
to
he's
yourself,
trying to
man?
cover up his face.
Maybe he's got a scar there.
That's that was one reason I was going to get a tattoo is if I ever had a scar, and now I do have a scar, and I'm like, man, I should make a tattoo with that scar because I thought that would be cool to have a tattoo to cover
like
the scar.
a slice with a knife, and that could be like where the slice was. That would be cool.
Yeah, get it colored in and stuff.
I was thinking like maybe like a millipede, like
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it looks like Have you ever seen a long scar? It looks like that, right?
Yeah,
But just something to that incorporates instead of seeing a scar. But then I kind of just grew into my scar. I mean, I hate it because my legs. That's when people said, well, "What's your favorite part of your body?" I said, "My damn legs, man. My legs were sexy." You know what I'm saying? But now with that scar, I was not happy because it ruined what a lot of people would take pictures of my legs because of the way they look. They're very, muscular, what have you. That scar fucks it up, man. I can't. I personally don't feel comfortable having my leg photographed with that scar.
They're your tiger stripes.
Right.
I got a lot. I got one in my neck. I got one in my neck. I got one in my stomach. I got one in my leg. I got enough. I didn't need an extra one.
It is what it is, though. Things happen for a reason. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just had to get over something. I mean, when you like something about yourself and then something alters it, and it's not what you like, that you don't want to see that on you. It was depressing. It was like, I mean, I don't find much of me being hot damn, look at that. So when I had something like that, it was like I didn't want it to be altered. I wanted to keep it,
Yeah, but work with it. I mean, we all have something.
It's a beauty scar.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, beauty scar. You know who says that? People are ugly.
No, your mama says that.
Your mom and ugly people say beauty scars. Not for nothing. When I see girls putting like a mole on purpose on their face, I'm like, what
my gosh.
It's like,
well, I have one here, and I always wanted to get rid of it. And my nana used to say, "You look just like Marilyn Monroe. Have you looked at the rest of this? This is not
great. My mole looks like Marilyn Monroe. That's interesting."
Yeah, that's
I'm glad my mole looks like Marilyn.
Yeah.
Is it before or after the skirt gets flown up? I mean,
I always wanted to get a piercing, so I can't get one here because that's there, but I can't get one here because then it's gonna look
like, yeah, not for nothing. I don't understand people who pierce their nose. I don't understand it. It's like, why would you bring attention to your nose like that? Like,
because mine's cute.
Okay, but if a booger was there, right? Would you want people to see it and not say anything to you? No, you got a booger on your fucking nose. Get rid of it, right? So for me, most piercings look like boogers on your fucking nose, and it's like, ew, like I said, it's just how I feel. Whatever.
No, I have a third eye there.
Oh my god.
So now I can't get that piercing there. So then I was like, so then what I wanted to get more stuff done. Like I have tattoos all down my back. I have them on my arms. I have one around my ankle. And then I was like, I'll get my eyebrow pierced. And I was like, I'm too old for this shit.
I mean, listen, I'm not against people doing what they want to do, okay? But I do have to question why. What? What is that? I mean, what genetic thing said? I always wonder, like genetics, right? I'm big in science, so I go, what genetic mutation or combination or whatever you want to call it made humans say, I got to wear high heels and carry a purse? I mean, does that make any fucking sense? I mean, it's
the purse is so we can carry things.
Okay, but no other animal in the fucking planet, except for maybe like kangaroos, have a fucking purse on them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how else are we going to carry all our shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but what genetic thing made us think boy, we got to carry everything. We got to make it a purse, and then it's got to be cute, and it's got to have this
Really,
design.
all of you, because you're like, honey, can you hold my wallet? Honey, can you hold my keys? Honey, can you hold this?
It wasn't me.
I got pockets for that, but it always amused me.
But women's clothes
when I
don't
watched-
have pockets.
Huh?
Women's clothes don't have pockets. That's the problem. That's why it's called a pocket book.
Pantsuit. Give me a break.
We don't have pockets in a pantsuit. Koalas. What is koalas?
Yeah, koalas. Right?
Koalas.
So we're marsupials now. You know, I mean,
That's my pocket.
I mean,
That's why I wear hoodies. I don't.
I mean, do we ever just take a step back and say, what?
How that shit happened?
I'm not saying be judgmental. Like we think we're better than everybody else because we don't do those things, right? It's humorous to me that humans have decided that that's the evolutionary trend that we're going to take. It's like we could have done a lot of things, but we took that as our next step in evolution is to carry a purse and wear high heels. Crazy shit. Backpacks are annoying too. I have a backpack. I carry it with me all the time because I always got stuff. Like I carry my computer with me all the time, so I always have a backpack. But
I don't have a purse. I have a little backpack, so I don't have to carry it.
I got one too. Comes over on the side like this. Yeah.
A man purse.
You know.
Yeah.
I say
I'm gonna carry it with my chest, so it doesn't sound like I'm a little.
That's cat.
Yeah.
So what do you? All right. So we were talking last night, and you were talking to me about your clothing line. You have a bunch of stuff going on right now. Tell us what you have going on.
Well, I have my own shadow wear.
It sounds very fancy.
It does.
Shadow wear.
It ranges from $300 to $10,000 a suit. If it's just basic, a suit, then it's $300, but it's comfortable. I mean, when you wear these suits, you can wear them wherever. It's like back in the day when we used to wear suits all the time. Even little kids used to wear suits in this, in our society because they were comfortable. Most suits that I used to wear when I was growing up, nothing fits me right. I'm whatever, an awkward
problem too.
Awkward sizes or whatever. The breakdown of my body is not the norm, like where you can just make a one suit fits all kind of thing. And then I am very, I think, creative. I like to show my creative side. So I do that in my suits. If you've seen my stuff, if you go to shadowwearfashion.com and scroll through it, you can see some of the newest styles. And what I do is I make one-of-a-kind suits. So I'll ask you a little bit about yourself. I'll try to get an idea of your personality. And then I design the suit to fit you. So when you wear the suit, nobody else has that suit. We only make it once.
Unique. Yes, I like that.
Now our $300 suits is a dime a dozen. I mean, we make them, for everybody. I mean, so you have to, it's not like we don't make suits for the everyday person. We do, because you have to go to work, and some places are a little more conservative than others. So you can't bring bling, flash. But I got a suit that when you walk, it changes color.
Oh, I like
what?
that.
What about squats? What about squats? Do you have something where, like, if I have to squat, there's no tightness,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can sleep in your suits and be good. I mean,
Please don't tell me
yes,
that.
I will wake up like the Punisher and be good.
I mean, our suits are made so when you go to work, you can go right from work to the bar and hang out and not have to change.
He's talking about going right from work to the gym.
No. I mean, that's a little different. I mean, if you want to go from work to the gym, you're going to have to change into, something else, because you're not going to want to stink up your suit, right? But yeah, as a whole, I mean, you can go from your work to a nightclub and be the fanciest person there and look really cool. I mean, Just I mean, take a look at the suits. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think
Haven't
I am.
seen him dance. You said you don't want to stink up your suit. The man dances at the grocery store.
Well, I mean, I don't know about
Get a
you.
little jiggy, you know. I mean, like, oh, it just comes about.
There's a
Brand-
little difference between dancing and working out. For me, a dance
No,
doesn't
she's joking
necessarily
about
mean you're going to sweat and just make your suit nasty, right? Plus, when you go into a gym, gyms smell differently than bars do, don't they? Yeah, they don't. Usually, gym smells like a bunch of dudes working out. A bar usually doesn't smell the same as that. I mean,
You haven't been to some of the bars I've been to.
well, that's. I mean, the old 930 club used to smell like kitty litter, so that was a hell of a club in DC. But yeah, I mean, clubs nowadays usually, like if they're halfway decent, they don't smell bad.
They shouldn't.
And you
Yeah.
go with our suits, you fit right in. You fit good. You fit good. And you definitely have people checking you out. Like, damn, that guy's suit is badass. Like I said, you ever see the cars that when you drive them, they change color as you
Yeah.
drive by? That's what our suits do. And that's where I got the idea from, was watching that. And I was like, damn, you got a suit that does that too? That is hot. And then yeah, I guess. I mean, I haven't danced in a long time, so I apologize if I don't remember. I mean, I used to sweat, but I wouldn't go into a suit to dance. Like if I really wanted to dance, I'd wear jeans and a t-shirt and dance my little ass off. I mean, you ever been in a mosh pit with me? You won't forget it. I mean,
I might have been.
I'm telling you, if you've been in a mosh pit with me, you never forgot it because you.
I don't know. Somebody booted me
You know
in the
what?
eye.
Well, I don't go in there to hurt people, but
Yes,
if you
this
got
guy didn't either.
if you got your ass knocked because of me, it happens, But people go in there to hurt people. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
He shouldn't be there.
Have they ever picked you up and threw you in there? Or?
Who's gonna pick him up?
I know.
God, no.
First,
He's the biggest dude there.
I've had people attempt to do stuff in clubs. They lost their fucking mind. But no, nobody's ever. The only person who's ever beat me up is me. Martial artists can beat me up. I've had fights with them, but not a real fight. Like just sparring. Those guys are badass. I mean, there's some guys. Where I was sparring this one guy. He was a black belt. I'm not a black belt, and he punched me in the nose the first time. I was like, "Fuck." Second time he punched me in the nose, I was like, "That fucking hurt." He's like, "Okay, Shadow." I said, "No, dude, I'm done." The second time I'm getting punched in the, I learned my fucking lesson. I'm done. I said, I just know I'll never fight your ass. I mean, okay, let's put it this way. He was doing martial arts and I was competing with him in martial arts. If he and I were to get in a real fight, that would all be out the fucking window. I'm going for your jugular. I'm biting you and I'm sticking my fingers in your eyeballs and ripping your eyes out of your socket. I'm not playing that. Let's spar. I'm going. If you got me that angry that I'm attacking you, it's over. I mean, it's just like I get. What do you call it? Tunnel vision.
So it went from bad to worse there.
Yeah, I try not to get in fights. I mean, I know I'm a very strong guy, and I don't really want to hurt anybody. But if you push me to that where I think my life's in jeopardy,
yeah,
it's either you or me. It ain't me, motherfucker. Shit.
You damn right. That's how I look at everything.
I mean, I try to walk away as much as possible, but if you're not letting me walk away,
competition, don't like it.
It's over. I mean, what do you want? I mean, you might still beat my ass, but I'm gonna make sure you knew I was there.
Absolutely.
So besides the clothing, what else? We're gonna
Well,
give
we have bridal wear too. I mean, we do for women, especially women. I'm an Aries, by the way. See, I get distracted. Squirrel again.
She's squirrel.
I do. We do wedding bridal wear, and again, we try to find out something about the woman that makes it special for her. And no one else has that same dress. I mean, no woman wants to wear the same dress somebody else wore. They never want to see a picture. So we make sure that never happens. I mean, if it happens, it wasn't because we made it twice. Somebody else must have done that.
Right.
But my wife is amazing. She has the best. One of the reasons I fell for her is because her work is so amazing, and so I mean, I don't know how to say it.
That was sweet.
But her site is houseofmonicafashion.com, and you can see the stuff she's done. She does not just bridal, but she also does evening wear. If anybody was doing like a red carpet event, she'd make a dress for them. She's actually making a dress for Lynn Lowry. She did a dress for Bailing.
Really?
Yeah. So she's talented and creative and awesome. So if you ever want to see her stuff, go look at that website. And
I'm putting up the websites as you're telling me. I'm trying to give you your shameless plugs now.
Yeah, publicity.
I do a lot of things. I mean, I wrote a book on timeshares because I used to, like, in the early 90s, I got involved with timeshares, and because I traveled around the world a lot, lived in a lot of different places, and timeshares were a good idea. It was bastardized by greedy people, but basically, timeshare could have been and was with me the first Airbnb. Basically, I used to send people around the world. I used to do travel consulting, and so I had all these places that people could go. And back then in the 90s, you didn't have the plethora of hotels that you do now, and especially remote places like in Bali, Indonesia, and a lot of other amazing places. Now they're just inundated with all these hotels. It's not as exclusive as it used to be. So I'm sorry, I got distracted again. Well, Lady V keeps writing some stuff, so I kind of catches it when it flips. Anyway, excuse me. Back in the day, I was making a plethora of money from doing that because I was one of the only people doing that. But now, say you had 50 units and you had, or 52 units, okay? So 52 units, 1 unit a week would be rented out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can rent 52 units 52 times, right? But they wouldn't do that. What they would do would 104 times. Well, there's not 104 weeks in a year. So you'd have 104 people trying to rent, come back to a place 52 times. You got people pissed off because they're not going to be able to stay there. But there was no checks and balances of these companies making sure that they weren't doing that. And that's where bad ones who did that made the rest of the timeshare industry look bad. But like I said, I was sending people before they got out of control. People were having a great time because they didn't have to buy it. They went through me. I already bought it. And then they went through me to stay at these places instead of staying at the Hilton or the Marriott or whatever the other hotels. They would stay at a very nice resort, and I think they liked it better than staying at like a Hilton. Now, I mean, I work with Hilton and Marriott now, and I tell them, what they need to do to improve their business. But the problem with that is now everybody thinks they are a consultant, and they get on Yelp or whatever these other things are and make their little excuse you, make these recommendations or whatever. It's like, dude, that doesn't even make any sense. But these companies do what they say, and they don't spend the money that they should on real consultants that can tell them how to make sure their facility is better than the generic.
Because they're all cookie cutter.
Well, not just that. I mean, okay, so example, okay. If you are going to the Hilton and you are one of the top people, and you get to go to their lounge, and you want to hang out at their lounge. In one country, they'll have one type of food. In another country, they'll have a whole different type of food. That's okay. But as a world traveler who might not like to eat that food of that culture every time I go there, I would like to have some other food that I'm used to as well. But they don't listen to that. They so and then when I go to a place, I want some things to be exactly the same no matter where I go. Like, okay, say you guys want to go to Starbucks and you buy a venti or whatever. If it tastes different each time you go to a different Starbucks, but it's the same thing that you're ordering, you stop wanting to go there because you don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
Well, same thing happens with hotels, and I try to explain that to them, but they don't really listen.
Yeah. I really do think that that's a major problem, because if you expect to go there and, like, say DoubleTree always has cookies, always. So you're expecting that when you get there, and you're like, damn it, there's no cookies. Like, are they just skipping
I feel
out?
some type of way. I'll get upset and I'll walk out. I will, and I'll say a couple things. Like, are you kidding me? Like, there's no cookies? Like,
He wants the cookies.
Well, I went to Hilton up in Massachusetts, and I booked it because it said it had an indoor pool. But when we got there, the pool just closed down. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That made me mad, And then, so I obviously complained, but Hilton didn't find that odd So anyway, so my friend he's like top tier. He goes to Hilton all the time. He's like their number one, person that comes there all the time. He spends a shitload of money. He complained because they didn't do something. So when he left, they reported him and said that he peed in the corner of the hotel.
What?
He's like, I've been coming to you for 20 years, 25 years. I'm going to all of a sudden ruin my reputation as your top person who comes to you all the time.
And pee in the corner like a child.
Like a fucking dog? You lost I peed in the corner. That's the best you came up with? You couldn't even think of something more creative to make him look like an asshole, but say he peed in the corner like a fucking dog. I mean, that is just so. There's things that, but that's another thing I told him. And I said, you just accept everybody because you're more worried about just getting some money instead of that your brand's not fucked up. Why would you want that company running your hotel with your name, acting like that? Why would you want that? It just doesn't make any sense.
You should drop it. Drop all of it.
Drop it all.
But anyway, so it goes back to my book. My book basically tells about the good, bad, and ugly and mostly the bad and ugly of timeshares. And so there was that book. And then I also did a poetry book. Took me 20 some odd, almost 30 years to write, because I wrote like one or maybe two poems a year until I had it. And the only reason I finished it was because the person I'm married to now, basically it inspired me to finish, and then said, fuck it, I'm gonna publish it. So it has some interesting, I think some interesting poems and some Easter eggs. If you figure them out and you want to talk to me about them, you're more than welcome if you buy my book. Don't do it if you didn't buy my book.
What's the name of the book?
It's a long name. It starts with Aisha, though. Aisha means life. And then
Aisha?
Aysha. And then Paugh Shadow, Paughshadow. Then you can find it on Amazon. I only sell it through Amazon, but I found out that now other companies are selling it. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how that works, but
then how are you getting a profit off of it?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, so if you guys buy it and I don't start seeing a profit, I'm gonna start suing people, because I'm finding it.
People now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I gotta know people are actually buying it. I mean, it's sold a little bit, but not enough. As far as I know, Amazon keeps track of what they've sold. I don't know if any other publishing company who's online has sold it. I know they have it on sale. I just don't know. And they're selling it for less than what I'm selling it on Amazon, which is kind of a red flag for me. Yeah, I'm like, let's, so we'll see. I I enjoyed the poem because poetry book because, like I said, it was over many years. I did a poem called "Enough Is Enough." I
Mm.
wrote that in like 1998, and I'm like, it talks about what we're dealing with right now, and I'm like, man, way ahead of its time. That poem.
No, right. Yeah. Speaking of existence, awesome.
I
So
think
if
it's
anybody,
interesting that you would put like you would do that book over a 20-year time frame because it shows what you were like way back then and then what it was like over time.
Mm-hmm.
It shows what you were thinking of.
well, yeah, it was like it's like hold on, let me give me a second, give me a second.
What is that?
My I'll check something real
He
quick.
was unscrewing a
You
couple
guys
right. Keep an eye on it.
discuss amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I'll be right back. We're gonna
We'll
figure
do a
this out.
coffee clutch.
Yeah, coffee.
Yeah, V says Amazon screwing a couple writers. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, it's nice to get your stuff out there, but in the long run, is it how's that going over? I don't like how people steal from other people, and you know,
It's the world we
take,
live in.
take their work and exploit their work so
Apparently,
so
it's
they can
selling
make
at
money.
Barnes and Noble.
That's what I was going to ask you if it was selling at Barnes and Noble.
I'm checking right now to be honest. Yeah, I think I saw it on Barnes and Noble's website, and I was like, wait a
That's
minute,
good.
They're
why is
selling.
it?
They're selling it for $20 there.
It's called a collection of poems and thoughts through a journey in life. So basically, that's what it was. It was like a journey in my life, like especially like poems I wrote when I was overseas, poems I wrote when I was in college, poems when I wrote when I was out of college, and just in life and all the different things that, and like I said, I try to be artistic in it as well. It wasn't just because you rhyme doesn't make you a poet. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because poems don't always rhyme.
Right.
Well, it doesn't. It's not about just rhyming though. It's like it's the structure. It's about like I
Mm.
don't know. If you look at rap, I like rap. I like good
Yeah.
rap.
Me too.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
but bad rap is bad rap. I don't. Okay, that's not. What did I see? I went over and I see. Then I went and then I see. Okay, you didn't just rap there. You used the same word. That's not even a rap. What was that? Like
It was terrible, is what it was.
if that's rapping, if rhyming is rapping, Dr. Seuss is the wordsmith of rap of all time.
He and Eminem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a big Eminem fan. And people go, oh, I'm like, clutch my pearls. It's like
No, that's your opinion. I actually like Donald Glover.
I think Donald Glover. I can't even stand Donald Glover. I think he's overhyped. When he played, what's his name, Lando,
Yeah.
in that, what was that? I was like, was that his decision or was that the director's decision? Because it was his decision. I mean, the director can do whatever they want. And it's still a no-no. But if it's your own decision and you think you made a good one and you force that upon the director, no. I mean, I think people are realizing he's overhyped because I haven't seen him as much as what I saw him with.
I just think he's lyrically intelligent.
Really?
I do.
I'd have to see that. I haven't seen that. But Eminem, I like the way Eminem sounds. He's got a cool voice. His voice is really good for what he does. But as a rapper, people act like he just comes up to the top. I said he didn't come up with that at the top of his head. He practiced that. He's good at what he does. He practices. He writes. He practices. He goes over. But it's not all at the top of his head. Get out of here. I'd really rarely see somebody who says that they came up with a rap on the top of their head who didn't practice some of that before they came in. They didn't really. Yeah. You know how hard it is.
It is. It's hard. I sound like a fool when I try it. I sound like a fool when I try it.
I mean, I don't try to rap, but I'm saying I can like do a whole series of discussion, like off the top of my head, like that, right? But that's not easy. That's hard on its own. And when you pretend like you didn't already have something prepared, I mean, my rap's funny. I think I say Snoop Dogg is an old dog. Snoop Dogg is an old dog that you can't teach new lyrics. and that Eminem is a candy ass rapper. And people are like, when people think about what I'm saying, I'm like, oh, that's funny because Snoop Dogg, you know, a dog, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
And teach him new lyrics. Anyway, fuck it.
That is funny.
I thought it was clever.
It is.
And I made fun of a few other rappers, but I do respect some of them at the same time. So don't get me wrong. Just because I make fun of them doesn't mean I don't respect them. It's just I know where good comedy is. I mean, anybody know what's her name? Her last name's Cummings. What's her?
Oh yeah. Is it Carly?
No. Hold on. I can check that out too. Give me a second. There's a lot of stuff I can check out on my phone real quick.
It's great that we have Google now.
Whitney Cummings.
Whitney.
Okay. So when I first heard of her last name's Cummings, and she's on OnlyFans, right? So I thought she used to be a porn star. And she didn't like that joke. But hey, I mean, your last name's Cummings and you're on OnlyFans. What was this?
Yeah, right.
It's really funny.
So I was telling people, I said, so you think she might have been like a porn star? And somebody said, hey, Whitney, you're fucking funny. And she thought she should become a comedian and not that she was fucking funny. Anyway. Hey. So she doesn't like that joke.
I love you.
She doesn't acknowledge that joke either, but that's okay.
I'm sure she won't.
She's got
Maybe
one.
you should be a comedian.
Yeah, I've tried that. I don't know. I'm funny, but I don't know if I could do stand up.
You need to have somebody to bounce stuff off of.
That too, and then I get I do angry comedy. Like people feel funny as shit when I'm angry. But Whitney Cummings, I'll give her one thing. She's got some of the prettiest eyes I've ever seen. I don't know if anybody ever seen her.
Yeah.
Shadows.
She used to have a TV show.
Huh?
She used to have a TV show. That's how I saw her originally.
Yeah, she has like a talk radio show now or something.
Yeah. There's some people that really don't like her because they said that she's got a filthy mouth, but
does she?
But people like me.
No difference, right?
Not really. I said people don't like her because they say she has a filthy mouth, but people like me.
Well, I don't mind a filthy mouth on anybody, women, men, whatever. It's just for some reason female comedians think they got to talk about their vagina all the time and sex with men and I could take a big dick. But you guys don't have big dicks. I'm like,
yeah, it's not like that.
What's the punchline? There's really no punchline there. There's this one comedian, she's Asian, and people are like, oh, you don't like her because she's Asian. I'm like, oh, I want to shoot myself in the fucking head when people say stupid shit. She just whines, though. She doesn't have a...
I know who you're talking about.
But she has the balls to get up on stage, which I don't anymore. I mean, I've gone up on stage and done my comedy.
But you have the balls to get up in front of a camera, which is then shown to millions of people.
Exactly.
What?
You have the balls to get up in front of a camera, and then that's shown to millions of people.
Yes.
What are you talking about? I'm kidding. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think there are no good female comedians. There are, just not a lot.
There's very few.
I mean, just like there's not a lot of good rap. There's good rap, but there's not a lot because they've inundated it with so many. They've like flushed the toilet on it and just said, "Fuck it, let's see what sticks." And it's like you put out so much bad stuff that it's hard to see the good stuff.
Yeah, and they're all starting to sound the same.
Well, same with movies. Look at Marvel. Marvel movies are almost always very similar. And not. I mean, like, I got tired of watching Marvel films because it's like, okay, now the good guys are all becoming the bad guys, and they survived the first movie, yay! And now they die in the next movie. Well, why did I invest my heart into them in the first one if they're just going to die in the next one? Right. So I start getting. I don't know how I got from Marvel from comedy, but whatever. I mean, except the fact that every Marvel film now, they think they have to be funny. It's like, you don't have to be funny. Everything doesn't have to be a goddamn joke. While you're beating up the bad guy, you're throwing in a punchline. It's like, that's Spider-Man. That's it. Not Thor. Thor should not be telling jokes. The fuck
at
is
all.
wrong with them, man? They made Thor stupid, and that's another thing. Like okay, anybody watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
not the newest one, but
Well, I watched it. No spoiler alerts. I'm not. But for fuck's sake, calling the raccoon any animal but a raccoon is fucking dead already. That joke is dead.
yeah.
And
It's
then
always a raccoon.
and how the fuck are you running a fucking galactic spaceship, but you don't know what a fucking raccoon is? Well, you just sound so stupid. It's like it's not funny. It's dumb now.
yeah.
And I didn't personally care for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because I just didn't get it. It's like it felt like more of a filler. Like it didn't really do anything for the characters. It just didn't build anything for me. I don't know. I want something. Like the best movie Endgame is because Thanos won. That was kick ass.
Yeah.
People were like, Shadow, do you think he had to kill off, so many people just to become a farmer? I said, maybe he did, and it's like, but the thing is, a lot of bad people had the right intentions, and then they got carried away, And I'm not saying don't put words in my mouth if somebody tries to
You're
tell me.
saying it, not us.
Yeah, we're just listening.
Shadow said Hitler was a good guy. He just got crazy and went to his head. No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about characters like Thanos, imaginary shit. Okay, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get canceled.
This is our show. We're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, but somebody's gonna watch that and say that guy Shadow said Pol Pot was a good guy. No, not. I didn't say those guys. I'm talking about things like Thanos. So Thanos is like one of my favorite characters. Plus, the guy who played him, I thought did a really good job. So, anyway, next.
So I want to ask you a question, and I don't know if you're going to want to answer this, but I think that it's important. So all of these things that you do, I want to ask this in a way that I'm not giving away your cover because I don't know if you want this to be known or not. Where does all of this filter into? You told me last night.
Okay.
I think you know where I'm going with this, right?
No, I don't. Because you confused me with saying I don't want people to know it. So
because you told me that you don't typically tell a lot of people these things, and it's just like not conversation. But
I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you. And then if you have the fucking audacity to say, "Oh, he's bragging," I'm going to smack you because you asked, right?
No.
I don't like just telling all the different things I did or have done because people take it as bragging, and it's not. It's just that I've done a lot
I don't
of
think
different
that
things.
you are at all, and that's why I want.
But I get that. People say it, and I'm like, I have to be aware of that. That some people just don't want to see successful people, or don't want to know people have done cool things. Maybe not considered successful. Again, I'm not famous.
No, I think that this is the coolest part of you, because I think you're a kind-hearted person, and I think that this is like the best thing that you do. So with everything that you are doing and everything that's, being brought into your household, where does the profit go?
Oh, not to me.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
I put it into helping others. I mean, I've really hurt myself more times than because I help others all the time. I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I mean, sometimes I didn't realize that I would end up hurting myself by doing it. But I always feel at times, especially when I was younger, I can always replace most things for myself. And I'm not a guy who is about objects. I'm not, I don't do a lot of things I don't have a lot of stuff to say, look at all the things I got. I'm more about helping others achieve their goals. I mean, I've helped produce movies because somebody wanted to make a movie, and I had faith in them, but nobody else gave them a chance. And I always give people a chance. One of the things I hate is when I give somebody a chance and they fucking burn that bridge for no reason, and they really weren't trying to be successful. They just thought it'd be cool to say it, and then when it came down to put your mouth where your put your money where your mouth is, they weren't really serious. And then
Right.
I learned from that. I've burned myself with other people who I thought were worthy of at least a chance. I give everybody a chance. And music, same thing. I have my radio station plays music from people that you've never heard the song on other stations. Now there's also stuff on my station that people have heard. My TV station, I play movies and TV shows that people have created that never made it to Netflix, probably never will, even though it's good, because I give somebody a chance. Now, from that, it's up to them where they end up, right? I made the outlet for them, and now it's up to them. Like my fashion line, I give my company to people who want to sell suits. Now, if you could make 10% off every suit you sell. So if you sell a $10,000 suit, you made $1,000, right? If you sell a $300 suit, you make $30. There's no cap on that, and I hate that word. One of the reasons is because it's used incorrectly, I think. But the only thing stopping you from making money is you.
Correct.
And then I've taken money I've made from stuff I made an orphanage in Cambodia. I have one in Indonesia, and I have a small town that I helped create in Thailand and one in Indonesia, and it's self-sustaining. I mean, the people who make clothing for the people who live there, and the people cook, and the community takes care of itself, and it doesn't have some of the issues that other communities have because everyone's there to. It's not communism. Everybody has to fucking work, but it's communal in the fact that I don't have to go outside of that town to get things I need,
Mm.
to survive. Now, we don't have Lamborghinis. It's like that's not what but everyone, has a place to sleep and it's not leaking on them and they're warm and they're not freezing and they have a comfortable place to live so they can wake up the next day and do something positive for others and their own community. Like in Cambodia, um,
Yeah, Google that.
little girls were used for prostitution, and little boys were forced to, well, not forced, I guess, because they did it on their own, but they would be made to uh, drug deal, like take drugs into Thailand from Cambodia.
Really?
If the boys get caught, they get shot in the head and left on the side of the road. They don't have trials. They don't, Thailand doesn't play around. Okay. So, and then these little girls are getting these guys from Korea and Japan and China coming into Cambodia and having sex with them. They're 8 years old, man. What the fuck is wrong with these people? So, but they're on the street. They have nothing. So I was like learning about Buddhism, and I was with this monk. This is around 2000 something, early 2000s. And I said, "What the fuck is going on here? What's with all the kids? Why aren't they in school?" And he goes, "Well, technically they're orphans. They have parents, but they're some of them, but the parents couldn't take care of them. They can't feed them, so they just put them on the street and they have to fend for themselves. And this is what they end up doing: drug dealing or prostitution." I was like, "Holy shit! I want to do something." Excuse me. It's tough to see people suffer like that. So anyway, I ended up doing a movie, voiceover work for Grand Theft Auto 4. Made a lot of money. And I took that money and created my first orphanage in Cambodia on the outskirts of Angkor Wat. Um, Problem with that is the government is greedy, and if they found out about it, they'd take it away from us. So we have to be very logistic about, who knows about what's going on, because they'll sell each other out faster than you can breathe. But anyway, so we teach these kids how, math, science, all these different things. And now most of them either work as tour guides. The boys work as tour guides, and or make furniture out of wood and then sell that. And the girls make rugs or work in the hotels, to clean, do the housekeeping for the hotels. So they get off the streets and basically become something positive in their community instead of something negative. And what I tried to do was, I had a house in Port Jervis, New York here, and I was trying to bring the ones that wanted to be doctors and lawyers and other things here to go to college here and then go back to their community and do that. Unfortunately, Port Jervis is a piece of shit town, and they didn't want me to bring people here from another place, and they found a way to destroy my property. And it's a big, big problem that I had with that. Like I said, I've hurt myself in doing things because I thought I was doing good for the world, and didn't realize I was kind of naive that some people are just pieces of shit that want to watch the world burn. So anyway, sorry. Get a little emotional when it comes to people, because
That's why I wanted everyone to hear that, because I think it's really important, and it is emotional, but you do such great things and people don't hear enough about that. And I don't think it's bragging. I think it's important that people know what goes on in the world.
Yeah, but you get people who they'll shit on good people, and it's unfortunate. And like I said, when I watch good humans get hurt, it really rips my heart apart. I don't know. I don't like watching it. That's why when I do something bad to somebody, it bothers me later sometimes. I mean, it depends on what an asshole the person was, or if I was just myself the asshole. But I beat myself up for some of the stupid shit I do in my life too. So I'm not perfect. I know that. Like I said, I'm a grown man who can own up to his mistakes. But I try to do more positive in the world than negative. That's for sure.
You're definitely doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank
Sorry, I
you.
got a little emotional there, but
No, I did too.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize it was going to hit me like that. And sometimes, you just, I mean, if I show you the pictures with me with those kids, when I come back there, the love they have for me is amazing, and they don't have to. I mean, it's not because they remember that I'm the one who. They're just very good-hearted people, and like I said, when you watch good hearts be forced into nasty things that make them not be good-hearted people because of other bad-hearted human beings,
right?
Yeah, it really is like. I mean, if you got some kind of soul, it does affect you in a way,
Yeah. It's sad. It really is. And they're learning things from you. So that's a great thing too.
That is.
So thank you for being with us. Thanks everyone for watching. We love you guys. And
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
we loved having you back. So for next time on Tuesday, as usual, it could be from 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. We never know. We have the time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it went 2 hours already. That was.
I know, it went really fast. It was really great having you with us. Everybody loved you, especially V. So.
Yeah, V was on there. She was on there religiously. Wow.
So stay tuned for Bobby. He will be up next. And this was Unfiltered with Bryant and Maureen again. Good night, and we'll see you Tuesday.
Good night.
Everyone, take care.